and welcome to another episode of the C-Suite Edge podcast. I'm your host, John Light. I'm also the founder and CEO of Sabretooth Recruiting. But today, I don't know, I'm kind of taking this as I go. I've got Nick Hyder with me who, if I went through my notes, Nick, I would probably get something wrong. But I mean, you founded Hit Lab Creative. You're the president of Team Hyder. You've got 2 shows on Sirius. And you've got at least, 2 podcasts cooking as well. I mean, you're all over the place, man. So I really appreciate you carving out a few minutes to talk today.
Well, it's a great pleasure to be here, man, and hang out and share some value, right?
I mean, that's what it's all about nowadays. And it's not just about marketing and branding, but it's about putting value out there, kind of in a sense, in the universe, in the marketplace, and stirring the pot and seeing what happens, I think. But hopefully to get started, maybe to get past and through that mouthful of all the things you're involved in that you've got going on, maybe you could give us a quick overview, and as quick as possible, with all the volume here, and help people understand, how you got to this, because I know you've got a lot of charitable involvement and other things going on too, and I'm just afraid we'll be going on for a long time. So what do you think it's important for folks to know about you?
Well, everything that we do, that we're doing for a living is basically, it was something that a project or another company that we already had it needed, So when it comes to the world of payment processing, it was an opportunity to build a sales force, and then upon learning some things, there was a lot of synergy and ways that we can connect a bunch of things, and it turned into a business. That's kind of how this thing's worked out. I've lived a very decorated and fun life as far as professional sports. We've owned nightclubs and restaurants. We've done AV work all the way down to one of our clients in 2014. We were involved in the Olympics in Sochi, some video walls and stuff they did, all the way to small business and family, individual family health insurance, to what you said with Sirius XM and the podcast and everything else. I grew up in a house where my dad was a music publisher in the music business. I understand how most types of media work. And, at the end of the day, we're connecting dots. So everything that we have serves something else that we already have. Nothing operates independently, if that makes sense.
Okay. So there's a synergy to be gained with it all.
Absolutely. Well, absolutely. I'll give you the best example that I heard one time when we were in the restaurant business. Full time. So there's a chain that a lot of people are familiar with called Cheddar's, and it's kind of like an O'Charlie's or something. It's lower end, medium. I don't even know the medium price point, I guess. But the reason I'm saying that is because when they use their concept as a great example to me to create a circle of money. And so it was the first thing they do when they're going to map out a location, and obviously I don't work for them, I don't represent them, so this is all just an example of what was taught to me. They're going to go into a new market, and they buy the piece of dirt that they're going to build the restaurant on from their real estate company. All right. Then they hire their construction company and their architect company to design and build the building. And then they're going to furnish the building from the company they own that makes their furniture. They're going to buy their kitchen equipment. Basically, what I'm saying is everybody that they hire is owned by them.
They keep the money in the family.
That's exactly right. So I've just always kind of liked that model, and every chance we had an opportunity to do that, that was kind of what we did. And if we don't have an opportunity to do that, then I'm probably not going to be involved in that project for too long. If we are, it's just going to be for a shorter time frame.
Mm-hmm. Interesting, because as soon as you said Cheddar's, you kind of got my brain in a different direction, because I started thinking about those croissants they give you. Yeah, exactly. When you show up there. So looking at this, kind of stepping back and looking at the whole picture, let me ask you this, Nick. When you look across what you and your companies do and pursue, where would you hang your hat in terms of what's the biggest problem that you all are addressing in the marketplace today?
The stuff that we are dealing with the most on a daily basis comes down to digital advertising, digital marketing, digital media. There's a lot of unknown or just misconceptions about it in general. And what we see, most people are spending a lot of time, resources, and money into those things, and they're kind of doing it blindly. Everywhere else you sink your time, resources, and money, you kind of have an idea of a return on investment.
Right.
And that's not always understood or being applied in especially social media.
Yeah, it's a huge issue, because a lot of people think social media is, let me just drop a post on LinkedIn or Facebook. And I don't know, maybe that was true back in 2008 on LinkedIn. But nowadays the game is pretty different and much more integrated.
Well, it's also much more competitive. Okay. It's saturated with more and more and more and more people putting stuff on there. So, I mean, that could be said for all the streaming services too. 15, 20 years ago or however long it was, they didn't exist. And cable TV was all those channels there. And now it's, 10X or 100X the options there, yet they're still doing it and they're still growing and they're still making money, which means it's working, right? So how can you make it work for you? How can you leverage and use that? All media companies, like their monetization happens pretty much the same way, all the different mediums and platforms, the same way that artists that get royalties from songs and stuff, they get paid a lot of the same ways influencers do from plays on, just like artists get plays on radio, influencers get played on social media or YouTube and whatnot, right? So there's just, right. If you think about it, it's called social media. All right. So what's the media aspect of it? And then at the end of the day, how social is your media? Right. So it's social, means you got to be social with it. It's interactions. It's two-way conversations. If you're just posting and walking away, that's not necessarily what it's for either. It's also not to just scroll through all the time like a lot of folks do. Right. So, and then like if it is media, well, what does that mean? How can you use it? How often? How regular? Like what's the volume that needs to happen with it? What's the purpose of it? So at my age, a lot of my friends have kids. We were laughing the other day. It's back to school season as we're having this call today.
Yeah.
And parents were going on there and posting their back to school kids photos with their kids, and they were apologizing that they didn't do it on time. It's like, who are you apologizing to? Who did you owe those pictures to? Like, we've created this sense of responsibility, but like, for what? Like, you're just giving that stuff away. Like, you know what I mean? So like, if I'm gonna invest and I'm gonna create, like when we first started the podcast, about 100 episodes in, it was like, man, like this is taking a lot of time and it's expensive. Like my podcast, each episode costs between $3,500 and $4,000 to produce, distribute, full circle, right? So when you're doing 52 of those a year, you can do the math, right? So if we're gonna invest that. It's 14 staff hours. It's a lot of things. If we're going to invest that, what's the return? What's a good return? How do we gauge it? And more importantly, how do we get it? Right? So if everybody would ask those questions just with their social media even, what would change? What would change? Jesus said you got to go where people are at. Well, people are staring at this thing all the time.
Yeah.
Are you on it? And if you're not, I believe you're going to lose to somebody that is.
Yeah. No, I couldn't agree with you more. And the odd thing about podcasting, unlike if you're following a traditional, let's go put ads out, pay per click or do SEO work or whatever. You start podcasting, you don't really see anything from an episode. It's building up the momentum like, you have in a lot of other areas in social media and advertising. Certainly not without its challenges. Right.
Well, again, there's metrics, there's analytics, there's purpose, there's strategy. I mean, one of the biggest mistakes I think that we see folks making is just how do you know if you hired the right team or the right people? How do you know if you hired the right editor? Right? Well, at the end of the day, if you use social media as an advertising platform, the things that the editors make are a sales tool. Well, if the editors never sold anything, how can they make a sales tool? That's a big problem in my opinion. Editors need to be niche specific, right? So if in college I went for all these different types of media. There was movie, there was like cinema, there was radio, there was TV. There's all these different platforms. Well, what does the editor specialize in, right? And again, do they understand what makes people what makes people have influence and what creates urgency when people are needing to buy something, a good or a service? And how can they prove, what a lot of times when you talk to these companies, they'll say, you're going to give us this amount of money a month. We're going to give you strategy, and we're going to post on your accounts this many times. I'm like, awesome. Sounds great. You told me what I'm spending. What month do I break even? It's a fair question. Very few people can answer it.
No,
right? That's where the Hit Lab came from. That's where the Hit Lab came from. Yeah. Is we can answer those questions. You have to be able to answer those questions. Like if you don't know, like when you advertise on a billboard on the side of the interstate, they can tell you, like on average, what's going to come back, what your return on investment's going to be. That is an investment in advertising, right? So like there's got to be a return on it. So like, hold social media to the same accountability structure that you hold everything else, all the other types of media. Here's another fun thing, John. Like YouTube, not YouTube, Apple TV, Hulu, Netflix, NBC, Fox, ABC, CBS. Most of the advertising that they're selling is on content that's not new.
Yeah, that doesn't surprise me.
Most of it. Okay, so what's the rerun strategy on social media?
That's a heck of a
You've ran all these videos.
Right,
they're digital assets. Why do you only run them once? Is that how Jelly Roll makes money? He makes a song, and then they run it one time on the radio. They play it once and stop. Is that how it works?
I'm actually taking notes. I don't normally take notes. I'm writing down that question. What's the rerun strategy? Because I've got, I don't know, between clips and episodes, I've got 600 plus pieces of content sitting out on a channel.
Yeah. Okay, so again, think about it. Remember when Michael Jackson pissed off Paul McCartney because he bought the masters to the Beatles? So what did he buy? And why would he buy it? So they can just sit on a shelf and never be heard again?
Oh, no. He's making money from it.
That's right. So you have you own your own masters. What are you going to do with them? What's the strategy? That's the catch, man. You are like, you have a TV station in your pocket.
Yeah.
So what should your TV station be doing? You remember when we were younger, like at midnight, TV stopped.
Yeah.
Remember they would play the national anthem?
National anthem, and they had that screen. Yeah.
All right. So why did they decide to run stuff after that? Why did they quit doing that? Because they were like, man, people will actually watch this if we just give them something to watch. Okay. Well, people will watch you if you give them something to watch. And if they like it, they'll watch it. They'll do it again. We all have the movies that if we're flipping through live TV and it's on, we stop what we're doing and we watch it. Mine's like Back to the Future, Shawshank Redemption, right? Okay. Well, I mean, literally, President Trump will hold a press conference later today, and I'll see it on YouTube by multiple channels. I'll see it on Instagram by multiple channels over and over again. I'll probably see it 3 weeks from now too. Posted on another platform. Again, you own these things. Why can't you run them over and over and over again? Especially if it's a commercial. If you boost a post on Instagram, you're going to see that post in your feed over and over again, right? As a consumer, you're going to see it. Well, I can accomplish the same thing just by posting the same video over and over and over again without having to spend the money. And why would you spend the money if it didn't test good? Like if it didn't perform well organically, why would you put money behind it? That's like NBC not testing their pilots before they greenlight them to film the whole series.
Yeah.
Right? And that's the ones they put money behind. You see all the similarities between like podcasting. TV started as bad sounding audio and it got better. Then they added bad video and then it got better. And now it's the same cameras they shoot Hollywood movies with. Right? We're literally like, that's how radio and TV started, and podcasting's done the exact same thing, right? Started out bad audio, and now it's shot with the same cameras they shoot movies with.
Nice.
So trends in media are not changing.
Yeah, well, and who knows, but having said that, who knows how this is going to look in a decade or so.
Yeah, that's right.
Right? And the challenges of figuring out what content is real and what content is synthesized from an LLM, with AI, because I know we've used AI to generate some videos where we put the verbiage in, but just because some of us have faces that are built more for radio than a camera.
Sure. Well, and even then, man, like AI is a tool, okay?
Right.
So, there's a lot of people in the world that villainize money. right? Oh, they got a lot of money, can't be good people. What'd they do wrong to get that, right? That's the way it always is. At the end of the day, money amplifies who you are. If you're a bad person, more money can make you a worse person. But if you're a good person, more money can make you a great person. You can do a lot more with it. You can serve a lot more people. A pastor told me one time, Nick, everybody can give their time. Not everybody can give money, and we need both.
Yeah.
Right? We need both.
In a lot of areas. In fact, I wanted to ask something, Nick, because I know we're going to be running up against the clock here soon. But I know that you're involved in some really interesting, I would even say side projects, or probably more like passion projects or labors of love. And I think the one that jumped out at me was Sandlot Sports.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm curious if maybe if you could take a minute or so here at the end of the conversation and highlight some of that work, because I know you've got a passion for sports and you got a real interest in helping kids have access to it and have a chance to participate, making it accessible. What's going on in your world relative to that stuff?
We're very involved in our church. Sandlot Sports is a 501c3 founded by my father that I've been working with him on. Sandlot's 26 years old this year, I guess. Founded in 1999. Mm-hmm. Sister Charities, the Nashville Old Timers Baseball Association, where I'm a past president. We do a lot of work with the Sentinel Foundation. Bottom line is we serve your most powerfully positioned to help the person that you used to be. Okay, so as a matter of fact, if I haven't done it, I can't really speak intelligently to it, right? So even when it comes to digital advertising or marketing, I can only tell you with certainty what worked for me or the people that mentored me. There's other ways to do it. I just can't speak intelligently to those. We kind of pick our charity work the same way. Who needs what, and like what are we most qualified? Where are we most qualified to serve and provide expertise? So Sandlot is not about access to baseball. There's no shortage of access. But the most important thing is that, can you imagine the school experience for anybody if 11th graders should walk the halls with third graders? Well, that happens in sports every day because parents don't know, right? There's no real legitimate grading system on where your kids should play. A lot of times parents' ego get in the way, wanting to play with just their friends or whatever else. But at the end of the day, like for my son, I want him to be around the people that are going to push him to the next place in his journey. I want him to be around people that are going to teach him to make choices that are in line with his goals. Because at the end of the day, every choice you make takes you away from your goal or towards your goal. And there's really no exception, right? So your ability to be aware of the choices that you're making and basically ask yourself, is this taking me in the right direction or the wrong direction from where I say I want to go? People that are in jail, they just made bad choices.
Well, I tell you this, I've written down 2 quotes just in this conversation, which is crazy because we record this, right? But most powerfully positioned to help the person you used to be. Man, that's a great observation. And Nick, listening to you, you've got a lot of nuggets of wisdom. I obviously earned on the battlefield there in social media and digital marketing and other areas. If someone wanted to get in touch with you, learn some more, what's the best way for folks to find you?
Man, everything's just my name. All social media handles, we're on all of them. And nickhyder.com is the centralized location where you can kind of get access to everything.
Yeah, and that's NICKHITER, not the double T, but the single T.
Correct. That's
Nick,
right.
Thanks so much for joining me today.
Absolutely, John. It's been a pleasure, bud.